Hello, folks. This is Jason Rogish, and we've got to stop. Seriously, this Donald Trump thing needs to stop, okay? His choice of Mike Pence as running mate was stunning enough for me. Not stunning in any real way, because Donald Trump is not going to save you. Donald Trump is not going to lower your healthcare costs. In fact, he's talking about deregulating it more. He's bringing more competition, quote unquote, in. Okay, we need government healthcare like every single other fucking industrialized country has. We need to be paying taxes to the government and have it completely control single payer healthcare. Every single person in this country is covered with a card based on their whatever. They pay taxes. Everyone goes to the same hospitals. We go to the same doctors. We do all of it the same here. Okay, that's what needs to happen. The reason that doesn't happen. Companies like General Motors would not have collapsed if it wasn't for their enormous healthcare burden. And the reason their healthcare burden was so high was because their country does not absorb any of the healthcare costs. So they were paying for healthcare for all of their retirees and their families and their families. It gotten ridiculous. You can't pay for that you just can't afford it as a corporation and make any kind of profit. Now we can talk about their profits at the high end, but it's undoable for most corporations at that level because General Motors was so old and had so many employees. So America has gone, and that's one of the reasons Japanese car companies and German car companies and Swedish car companies and other car companies do so well in America and do so well globally is because their government absorbs the cost of healthcare. We don't. It's that needs to be addressed. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you are a right-winger or a lefty. We all need healthcare. We all need free healthcare. And when I say free, I mean we're paying for it with our taxes, but it needs to be distributed by the government, like other countries have done. We could do the same fucking thing. We're not, because the healthcare lobby is so enormous. The healthcare lobby is so massive. How many registered lobbyists are in? There's like 40,000 registered lobbyists for the 500 plus members, 600 members of Congress, whatever it is. The 100 senators and 500 plus representatives. 40,000. I mean, there's your problem right there. But Donald Trump is dangerous. Okay, Mike Pence is an evil twat. Go watch a Mike Pence speech. He is one of the main reasons Indiana is in such bad fucking shape that it is in. It is dealing with economic collapse because he is one of these give corporations absolute free reign over everything and deregulate. Mike Pence is an obnoxious little fucking twat. And the fact that Donald Trump, go look up Mike Pence. I'm not going to go through Mike Pence's lengthy bad record, but go Google search Mike Pence and you'll be stunned. And this is the guy that right wingers all think is going to save them. You really think Donald Trump is going to close the borders? Do you really think he's going to close the southern border or make it even harder to get? He's not going to do that. Corporations will say, look, we don't want that. We need the labor pool to be devalued. And he is a good old-fashioned right-wing capitalist. He doesn't like labor. He doesn't want labor. He's not pro-labor unions, and he wants to further destroy labor. And the last thing a guy like Donald Trump is ever going to do is enforce that wall. That's all Tea Party talk to get you morons who let the Koch brothers tell you what to do. What's the matter with Kansas? That's the Thomas Frank book. Go read it. They talk about family values. They talk about, you think you're going to, one of the examples he uses is, you think you're going to vote against abortion, or you think you're going to vote some cultural thing, or you think you're going to vote because Donald Trump's going to shut the borders down and increase and bring back the jobs. But in fact, what you get is the exact opposite. You get deregulation, and you get more corporate interest and more. They brings you in with flag waving, how great the United States is, and they bring you in with we're going to make America great again. It's the same shit that Margaret Thatcher did in the fucking 80s. It's the same thing Ronald Reagan does in the 80s. The last bastion of scoundrels, and I guess it might be religion too, but the last bastion of scoundrels is patriotism. And fascism will be wearing a flag, draped in a flag, carrying a cross, carrying a Bible. And that's what Donald Trump is. He's not as religious, but he is a fascist. And you really want that guy to control nuclear weapons. Seriously, we are the greatest nuclear arsenal that's ever existed. You want a slum lord from fucking New Jersey to control the nuclear button? And then the people that he puts in, who do you think is going to be his Secretary of State? I cringe to think that it's going to be Chris Christie. Could it be Sarah fucking Palin? Who is he going to have as a Secretary of State or a Secretary of Defense? And Hillary Clinton is fuck awful too, but I trust Hillary Clinton a lot more with the war powers than I would ever trust Donald Trump. We have forgotten, because I think growing up in the 80s, I grew up in the 80s, and it was fear porn all the time. There were countless movies made, television shows, news specials made about nuclear winter. Nuclear holocaust was going to kill everybody. I seriously had problems sleeping as a kid. I'd hear a jet. We lived near an airport, and I'd hear a jet fly over my house, and I would think they were bombing us. All because of from Hollywood to the news to the military propaganda. That is gone now. That's been pretty much laid to waste after the Berlin Wall fell. But the nuclear winter is a very real thing. And America's nuclear arsenal is becoming smaller. And I don't mean they're reducing nuclear arms. I mean they're making nuclear weapons easier to carry. They're making them easier. They're tiny nukes now. They can destroy small populations of people. No. Nuclear bombs need to be taken they need to be decommissioned. We do not need nuclear bombs in our world. That is one thing. You corporations can have all the arguments you want. The military can go and do all the horrible, heinous fucking shit they do, but you cannot nuclear annihilate or create a nuclear winter. It cannot happen, because it will destroy the world, and it will trigger a process of destruction of the human fucking species. Okay? This cannot be overstated enough. And I'm watching people support Donald Trump and not even addressing that you're giving a slumlord from New Jersey who marries models, who doesn't explain anything, just tells you how great it's going to be. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. It's going to be with this. He's out of his fucking mind. And if we were living in a time where the government had told us any truths and the American people in any way felt financially secure or economically secure, Donald Trump would be the joke that he always was. He would be the exact same joke. And he caught my attention because of the border stuff and because of labor and because of, hey, I want the borders to be covered. I want the visa programs to stop, not because I don't like multiculturalism. I fucking love multiculturalism. I have a problem with it because it's destroying our labor force. Okay, if corporations are going to be allowed to offshore, then labor has got to be able to protect itself somehow, some way. And that's where I agreed with Donald Trump. But he's not going to be able to enforce it, and he's really not going to be able to when he's talking to the very people that he has been donating to their campaigns. They've donated to his. He supports them. He's in unabashed capitalism. We don't need more capitalism. We need less capitalism. We need more government controls. We need more regulations, not deregulation. We need publicly funded healthcare, single payer. We don't need Donald Trump's voodoo fucking idea of making healthcare cheaper by deregulating it more. It's insanity. It's hubris, and I don't think, again, we should give the nuclear fucking button to a fucking slumlord from New Jersey. Thank you for listening.